What's up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live, episode 120. I'm not sure what Chris is doing over there, but he's so small he kind of disappeared behind the belt. Thank you guys for being patient. I
Right,
saw quite
swallowed
a
my
few of you
head.
guys, right? Thank you guys for being patient. I saw quite a few of you guys waiting. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being patient, guys. I do have a second webcam. I've never used it before, and I set it up as my main webcam was having issues, and it was just awful. So I don't know what happened. I freaking restarted my computer. I ran a firmware update, and it fixed it. So here we are. I appreciate you guys for being here once again and for being patient. And happy to be here with you guys on this fine Tuesday evening. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. I know Chris is going to run and grab a drink because he's been patiently waiting for me to come back and get everything set up. But yeah, guys, it's great to be here with you. Lane will probably be joining us a little bit later. Unfortunately, Mike will not be here tonight, but he will be here in spirit. So let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. As always, guys, throw those comments in, and we'll say what's up to everybody as they come in. Let me adjust my... No, we'll keep it like this. All right, so we got Hot Toys Nightmare, now the Nightmares Cave, in the chat, a moderator and a good friend. You guys know Sean. Sean says, hello there. I'll be listening on my way home tonight. You guys know me. I love doing that. I love listening to streams on my way to work, on my way home from work. I think it's kind of relaxing, and it's cool to hear everybody's thoughts, and it's a nice way to be able to catch streams. It's a lot to fit into one day sometimes. So thank you so much for being here, as always, Sean. I hope you're doing well. We got Yomo in the house, a channel member, a moderator, and the GOAT himself. Yomo, thank you for being here, my friend. I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. We got Big Dog Pound ready to go right off the rip, so of course I got to bring it over to Chris to give him a proper introduction. Are we calling him Big Dog Pound Truth, or does he have a new name?
Big Dog Pound Truth, Big BDP. This is what it is up in here. Welcome to the show, everybody. Know we got a late start, but it's never too late to party. So while you're in here, hit that like button, because we're about to take you on this ride. Woo!
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for being here. As always, Big Dog Pound. Woo! I hope you're doing well. And of course, as always, we appreciate you getting the chat all hyped up. Got my dude, Brick Artemis, in the house. What's up, Brick? Thank you so much for being here, Brick. Guys, happy belated birthday to Brick. His birthday was last week. Thank you so much for being here, bro. I hope you had a great birthday. Let's see. Who else do we have? We have Clone Trooper. Clone Trooper says, Connor setting up the Hotline Hottie filter on his webcam. Dude, I wish. I wish, man. But thank you so much for being here. Yeah, my webcam, like I said, I don't know what it was. It was so weird. And then from me touching it, trying to fix it and adjust it and, change USB ports just to kind of see what was wrong with it, my fingers were smudging the lenses. And when I finally got it back on, it had that kind of like starburst effect on all the lighting, so I had to wipe it off. It was just a disaster. But we're back and we're here. I just noticed the light that's normally behind me is off. We're rolling with it, whatever. But thank you so much for being here, my friend, as always. We got Eric in the house, a Hotline Hottie. What's up, my dude? Eric says hello, everyone. Hello to you, Eric. I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. And yes, guys, I still need to see Ballerina. That is one that's on my list. There's a lot of stuff actually upcoming in theaters that I need to see. But definitely Ballerina's on my list. You guys know I love John Wick. I love the John Wick universe. So, and it looks really good. I'm not going to lie. All the previews and everything got me excited for it. So for those of you who have seen it and have enjoyed it, I know Steve is going to see it tonight. Evil Sneaker is going to see it tonight. Figures and Fandom. So I'll be interested to hear his thoughts on it as well. But thank you for letting us know how you felt about it, because I've been really patiently anticipating everybody's thoughts before I go and see it. We got Tim in the house. What's up, Tim? Guys, as always, if you haven't already, check out the Caustic Plastic Facebook group, especially soon, because SDCC is coming up. We're going to be seeing a lot of stuff from them. The Exorcist stuff, Conan the Barbarian. I think they're doing 3 different versions of Conan. That's going to be very, very exciting. Hopefully, eventually, they'll do a Thulsa Doom, get the James Earl Jones action going on. That'd be really cool. Tim says, happy Tuesday night, Connor and company. A lot of exciting reveals every Saturday from Caustic Plastic, building up to their showcase at San Diego Comic-Con. Last week was Exorcist. What's next? Well, of course, for me, I'm hoping it's Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman. That's one that is highly, highly sought after for me. And I'm sure for a lot of other people, because that's one of the big Universal monsters that we're missing, right? So I would love to see that. I don't know if it's on the table quite yet, but I know they certainly have interest in it. So I'm hoping for some more Universal monsters, of course, at the end of the day. But I know that Fabio and the team are going to come up with some really unique stuff. Can't wait to see some official prototypes for the Crow Eric Draven figures as well. A lot of really exciting stuff. So thank you so much for being here as always, Tim. Let's see. Boba Fettuccini in the house, a channel member and a good friend. Boba Fettuccini says, "What's up, friends and fellow hotties? Heading to my local comics bookstore in a couple hours. My Hono Magneto finally came in." Well, that's awesome, dude. I haven't received the invoice for that. The final product was looking really good, so congrats on that, and I hope it's everything you hoped it would be. Let's see. We got Noon Tunes in the house. What's up, Noon Tunes? Noon Tunes says, "Hello, everyone." Hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. We got Robert Field of Burn in the house. What is up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. As always, thank you for being here and for being a hotline hottie, a certified hottie. Field of Burn says, "Oh my goodness, hello, people." Hello to you. Thank you so much for being here. We got Big Rib in the house. Love the profile picture, by the way. What's up, Big Rib? Big Rib says, "What's up, everyone?" Yes, the truth will set you free. I thought that was crazy because, even though I haven't watched wrestling for a long time, I was familiar with R-Truth. And the dude's what, like...
50 something.
Yeah,
he's the oldest guy on the roster, but
and now he's like reinventing himself as a new character, which is pretty crazy. It
was crazy because WWE released him and the fans went nuts, hated it, and they like to say it was scripted, all part of the plan, bringing on. I think the fans were so pissed, and WWE was like, "We made a mistake," and then but I kind of like where it's going so far.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see. Sal says, and by the way, what's up? I can't pull X-Man Supreme's comment down that quickly. What am I doing? X-Man Supreme, an absolute lad, a channel, a moderator, and he says, "Ballerina is effing awesome." Yeah, I can't wait to see it, dude. Like I said, I love the John Wick universe. I'm currently in the process of doing a couple updates here and there to my Hot Toys John Wick 4 figure. So, and for the Kane as well, I'm probably going to get the Topo. Because they did the white and they did the black on black suit, and then they did the black with the white. And I think I'm gonna do the black with the white upgrade from Topo. I think it looks really good. I don't really like the stock outfit from Hot Toys on that Kane, so I'm excited to upgrade it. What's up, Sal? Sal says, "Hell yeah, SDCC, can't wait." Any of y'all going? I won't be going. I will be virtually attending for all of the online drops, especially from Caustic. I know they're gonna be doing some exclusives, so I will be hopping on that for sure. But thank you so much for being here, Sal. As always, always great to have you, bro. And X-Man Supreme as well. Payton in the house, another moderator, the absolute goat of the gifts. Payton says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here, as always." Let's see who else we got. We got SG Collectibles in the house. What's up, SG? Thank you so much for being here, bro. As always. Are you planning to get the Topo John? Yeah. So most likely I will be getting the John Wick suit, like the normal, swap out suit that they did for the John Wick 4. And then I'll be getting the Kane with the black on white. Because like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the default outfit from Hot Toys for the Kane, especially. The stock Hot Toys fit for the John Wick 4 is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. But yeah, looking at that 007, we didn't get to talk about it last week, guys, because we didn't go live, but probably will be upgrading that for sure, unless Hot Toys changes something, because that outfit looks a little rough. But I think that's everybody, guys. As always, if I missed you, drop some comments as we discuss things, and of course, I'll say what's up to you. It is super hot in here. I need to turn my fan on. Sorry if the spinning bothers you guys. Just let me know if it's really distracting, and I'll turn it off. But
it's bothering me.
Not you don't count. But Chris, thank you so much for being here. As always, I'm excited to talk about some cool figures this week. Yeah, there's a lot of really random cool stuff this week, so I'm excited to talk about some cool figures and some really random ones that really don't interest me much, but might interest you guys. So we're going to start off with one that was not that one. One that was very puzzling to me and kind of a super random artisan. We have the Age of Apocalypse Artisan Wolverine figure. It's kind of depressing in a way that the first Artisan Wolverine wasn't like a classic X-Men Wolverine in some form or fashion, or some callbacks to some of the original films with Hugh Jackman. Though I did see a decent amount of excitement from comic book fans for this one. I have no ties to this from its comic origins. Do I think it looks cool? Yeah, I think it's dope. It's super cool that he has like a, and of course I don't know the origin of this arm here, but it's pretty cool that he has like a kind of like a peg arm with the adamantium claws coming out of it. I thought that was pretty neat. The hair is interesting. Obviously he's got like a full head of rooted hair, but also some mutton chops going on there. Not a full rooted beard, which doesn't surprise me because obviously the hair is much shorter there in the mustache area. But it's pretty cool looking. You know, it's got the fully seamless body on the upper torso. It looks really nice. I imagine
That's
it's
so
probably the
ridiculous.
same body. Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably going to be using this body and then putting like another Hugh Jackman head on it, if I'm being honest with you. But I do think it looks really cool. I also wonder what customizers are going to do with this head. Like maybe they'll buy it and trim the hair and make it look like a normal Hugh Jackman head. I could definitely see people doing that because you could see him in there. You could certainly see how they could trim the hair back and make this work. Maybe it'll be a bit difficult on the beard, but I think they could do it. This one is not particularly for me. I did pre-order it in the off chance that anyone needed one. I'm still waiting to hear back from somebody that was telling me that they potentially might want it. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll get it and just see what it looks like in hand, and then who knows? You know, maybe I'll just cancel it. But nonetheless, not something I particularly need. I do think it looks pretty good. I think it's a cool looking figure, and it's just unfortunate that we didn't get, at least for me, that we didn't get another version of Wolverine, or even like the Cavalry. Like some people are saying the Cavalry, that would have been cool, but still cool. It's a rooted hair Hugh Jackman. Can't really go wrong. Everybody in the chat, let me know if you're picking this one up. Did you guys go for this one? How'd the drop go for you? Chris, I already think I know what you're going to say. I'm going to pull out some actual like in-hand, or not in-hand, but I should say in-person photos taken here. As I pull this up, this is the particular gentleman that took these photos, so shout out to this gentleman on Facebook. I want to give him the credit where credit's due.
I already have it in 1/12 though.
You have this in 1/12?
Yeah, it's the big red machine, right?
That's crazy.
Kane?
That's crazy. You can't take him seriously. You can't. It does kind of look like the OG Kane fit a little
Not
bit,
the face, yeah, but the suit is what it
Yeah.
reminds me of. But it's cool. It's just it's not for me. It's not my collection. Now, I know a lot of people are excited for this or whatever, and of course,
hair,
you know, we went from having like basically little to no Wolverine, like because the ones we did have were super old and outdated, and now we're getting all these versions and variants. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Let's see.
I just wish that like for their exclusive stuff that, I mean, it goes both ways because I've said like exclusive should be something weird out there, and like that's what it is. So I guess that's what this is. So I'll retract what I was about to say, but that's only because I'm sold because I won't get it. Like if it was something else, of course I'd be drooling over. But there is some people, you know, who don't collect Star Wars or whatever. So for somebody, this is a win. So I'm happy for them.
Yeah. So X-Man's like screaming from the rooftops. He's like, "This is more important than any Cavalry." Like I said, when it comes to comic book related stuff, I know that this is an important one. If you don't read the comics, you could just kind of admire it for how cool it looks. Again, I don't even know the story of how he got that special hands. So it would be interesting to hear about that because I don't know anything about it. But yeah, I'm happy for those that have a tie to this one personally because it is definitely a unique announcement from Hot Toys. There's a close-up shot of the crotch there, I guess, to show the material. That's an interesting POV right there.
Why? Why is that a thing?
I guess he just wanted to show the material, but yeah, I appreciate these photos though because like I said, it's nice to see it in the display here at Secret Base, and I do think it looks really good. I think the seamless body looks really, really nice, and the hair, for all intents and purposes, I think it looks nice. From the reference photos I looked at from the comics, it looks like the comics. It's messy and unkept, like it's supposed to look. And this hair kind of is like a true Wolverine look, if that makes sense. It really looks like a Wolverine in human form almost. So I think it's pretty cool. Sal said Cavalry would have sold better. See, you're gonna get X-Man Supreme all worked up. I don't know though. Yeah, Weapon X would be cool. Boba Fettuccine says hit the like button for these fine fellows. Yeah, I would appreciate that, guys. Like I said, I know we started late, but we're gonna go strong. So I appreciate you guys. Yomo says, I was hoping it would have a quick release window since the yellow suit is coming very soon, but I guess we won't get this till next year. Yeah, unfortunately, I was expecting this one to be a quick one as well, and it looks like it's not. It's the normal pre-order window. But, hey, what are you going to do? At least it's happening for those that want this one. It's definitely a very unique one, and I'm glad it's here for those who want it. So, what's up, 12-inch Moose Stream in the house, a channel member, one of the GOAT OG channel members, a hotline hottie. Moose says, hello, community of collectors. Did I miss a Spider-Man exclusive non-release today? Yeah, that was interesting that it randomly went up mistakenly and they took it down. And supposedly those who put in an order who were lucky enough to do that, their money didn't get charged. So very, very interesting. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, I guess if this suit shows up in the game, it's going to be a bit more sought after, right? Kind of like some of the Spider-Man game suits that showed up later on. That's a good point, Brick. I didn't even think of it that way. We got Funky Cold Santa in the house. What's up, my dude? Funky Cold says, not for me. Already have 3 Hugh Jackman Wolverine figures. Also getting the movie yellow figure. How could I not? That's true. I really like that shirtless version just because of the technology on the body. I think that's going to look really impressive in person. Still not sure if I'm end up keeping that one, but I just want to see it in person. That body just looks exactly like Hugh Jackman, so it's just something I'm very curious about. X-Man says, and he's not Wolverine in Age of the Apocalypse. He's Weapon X. Caliban took the name Wolverine in that timeline. So what you're saying is them calling him Wolverine is inaccurate then. So this should be Weapon X. Interesting. So maybe we should write into Hot Toys and petition them to change the name on behalf of X-Man. Yeah, I mean, the Black Panther game got canceled, so not to jinx it, but it happens. But, guys, we're going to move on from Wolverine onto another Wolverine. Weirdly enough, I think this is all we have so far for this this release here. It's just a quick video. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because this is basically the same figure we saw before. Shout out to the Figure Hideout for his awesome videos, as always. But we have the release of the second, or I should say the third Wolverine, technically, from Hono. I hope this is the last one for a while. This is just the one that comes with the unmasked portrait here. I personally didn't pre-order this one. I'm perfectly happy with the original one with the masked up portrait. That's how I'm going to run mine. I did buy that third-party sculpt in case I ever want to have him unmasked. I don't really care if it's not like draped behind his head. But this does look really good. I love the blue highlights on the front of the hair. I think this looks pretty cool. So if you've had this figure previously, the other version of this, you'll know what to expect basically because it's the same thing, just a different head sculpt. So definitely really cool. Not one I'm picking up. I have absolutely no interest in this. I actually recently sold my John Byrne Brown suit because I just didn't feel like I needed it with all of these Hugh Jackman versions coming out. But it's definitely really cool. Chris, I'm sure this one is not even close to being on your radar.
No, not at all. I got my Deadpool Wolverine, and that's the one that'll be in the collection. So I don't really need any other variants, to be honest. That goes without saying. Like the colors pop, and it is cool. I think personally, like if I was to stray off outside, I'd probably do what you did and do like a masked version.
Yeah.
But then, like I look at the unmasked at the same time too, right? And it's like the classic look, like you were saying, where he looks all scruffy and stuff. It's like an actual Wolverine. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of tired of Hono doing the Wolverine figures at this point. I know X-Man and Yomo are probably super eating it up because they're big. And it's kind of like I am with Anakin and Vader. I do the same thing, so I can't judge. But
I mean, it's also the whole realism versus like animated kind of thing, right? Where I don't collect too many, and I don't think I have a single anime besides that Ahsoka. That's technically Clone Wars, but they do like a live action interpretation at the same time. Hot Toys did with that, so if I were to get that, it would just stick out like a sore thumb. So luckily for me, that version is literally what I'm getting with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, anything Hugh Jackman is going to take precedence for me because that's my Wolverine, you know? So, although, like, I love the animated show, and that's part of the reason why the Hono stuff is making it into my collection, some of it, you know, I have no ties to the comics. I was always watching the animated show, and then X-Men 97 I really enjoyed, but I have no ties to the comics. So, it's hard because you know those animated show-esque portrayals are really hard to say no to, especially like that Magneto. That Magneto looks sick. But guys, we're moving on to a really exciting one that I think Hot Toys actually executed very, very well. I think he looks absolutely incredible, and the lack of degradation from the prototype is very exciting. And we often see this with alien characters just because Hot Toys does a good job on them. But we have the release officially for Kit Fisto already, and guys, I think it looks awesome. You have the posable tendrils hanging down here, and I think they look really nicely painted if you kind of compare it to stills from the films. They did a pretty good job with the paint scheme. I think it's pretty dang spot on. And like I said, from the prototype, I don't really see that much degradation here. Not like what you're used to seeing, at least. I think he looks really good. Those eyes, they just kind of stare into your soul. They're kind of creepy looking almost in figure form, but he looks good, and I don't hate the robe on him. I think the robe looks pretty decent for his body type. I think the tunic with the robe and everything off looks pretty nice. Like you could see him here. I'm
probably gonna have robe on now.
Yeah, me too. Me too, because that's what he died in, at least when they went up against Sidious. Yeah. So I'm gonna have him. Just because of that. But
I remember him looking like that in Attack of the Clones, right? In that first photo you showed, it's pretty spot on. Because I think because of the prosthetics of that dude wearing it, he moved kind of weird. So that photo where he looks kind of bigger and a little bit more clunky kind of fits him. He didn't really like have crazy movement. He did in like the Clone Wars and stuff. Like he was badass, but live action version wasn't like crazy.
No, I feel like they did him dirty in the live action. He was so much more badass in the Clone Wars and the Tartakovsky Clone Wars movie. Like, like he was more badass.
Underwater and stuff. That's where I like.
Yeah, I wanted the shirtless variant.
Fisto. Yeah, right.
That's what I wanted. Lane, legendary Lane Kramer. I can't tell if you're here or not because it's just pitch black on your camera. Okay, maybe Lane's not here yet.
Can't hear him either.
Let me take him out just in case he doesn't know that he's in here yet, and he can message it. Lane, message in the private chat if you're here. But Lane is popping in. I didn't know if Lane was going to make it. He said he might be able to make it a little bit later, so maybe he'll be able to make it in soon. But yeah, like I was really hoping to see like a buff shirtless variant of this. I thought that would have been really cool, but you know, I'm not complaining. I'm glad that we got him. Okay, Lane said he's here. Lane,
are you able to hear me?
Yep, we could hear you. I'm guessing you're on your phone.
No, I'm having problems with my camera or something like that. I don't
know I was too. I guess we're jinxed, Lane.
I've been fooling. I actually have been fooling with it for about 15 minutes, and I just finally gave up and was like, okay, I just need to get on here because I saw you had come up with. I saw you had come up with Kit Fisto, and like I'm like, this is the figure I actually wanted to talk about today because.
So yeah, we had to make it happen then.
Yeah. But this figure I think is one of the coolest looking figures. Like seeing the final thing in like a bit, I just think it came out looking so great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much degradation from the prototype, is there? Like I think he looks pretty dang good.
No, I think, and we're obviously if you love like head poses or something, this guy is going to be like your worst nightmare, almost probably the side of like. You know, any female character with hair that goes down past her shoulder blades or something, you know, you're just not going to have a whole lot of movement, but they nailed the look. Cause like, it's funny if you look at this one now, if you went back, like, and you pulled up like that, you remember that original prototype one that was sitting in the graveyard from like years ago? If you could just show and say, hey guys, we went from this to this. You could just be like, it's like night and day. Now, admittedly, obviously, there was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or more.
Yeah, a lot of time in between, yeah.
But that also means that at the end of the day, where it was kind of annoying, obviously, if you really, this was a Jedi, you actually just, obviously, he doesn't have a ton of personality, but it's just the look was such an interesting movie creature look that he wanted to have. The having to wait for it, you know, actually probably turned out better than if he had come out, you know, 5 or 6 years ago. You know, he was definitely improved quite a bit. So,
yeah, I agree. And like you said, like this was one of those mini graveyard figures that we weren't sure if they were going to see the light of day, and then out of nowhere, all of them started happening. And I was very excited to see, especially this one and like Padme Amidala, because those were ones that we didn't know were ever going to happen. And then Poe Dameron came out of nowhere. Guys, Chris reminded me we should do a poll for Kit Fisto.
Oh, and don't forget also the can't forget even recently came out too, the Airborne Trooper.
Yeah.
And that one came out super
Airborne
fast.
was, and we're still waiting on the regular 212s now, but we're slowly going through that list. Guys, I just dropped a poll. Vote in our poll for Kit Fisto. One of the goated Jedis of the Jedi Council.
They are starting to move through a lot of the named or kind of maybe even trooper types that people want to see now, though. Hot Toys. Now it's taken them years, but
yeah. This is crazy, Pedro. First of all, Pedro,
I spread that and I had to let you just do it real quick.
I'll have you know, I have the Jazz Inc. 89 Batmobile. And I would not be trading for a bar of soap. I did see that. I see people that were like reselling it on eBay for like $150. Y'all are sick, man. I don't need a bar of soap with
that's like 20 years ago or
water
something when Luis Gonzalez
that's just crazy.
He was a former MVP a long time ago. He just like chewed some bubble gum and then put it into a vial thing, and it went up on for sale on eBay, and it sold for like I think somewhere between $20,000 to $40,000. Because it was relatively, that's back when it was new. Oh yeah,
that's insane.
That's a lot of Wolverine, man.
Yeah, Boba Fettuccine, you're going crazy with this line. I'm glad that the Hono stuff appeals to you though, because and Sal had asked. I briefly pulled up his question, but he had asked if we think the Hono line's going to die off. I don't think so. It seems like it's still selling decently well. As long as they continue to do cool stuff like that Vader and the Stormtroopers and stuff, I will keep pre-ordering it.
But if they're starting to go up on certain figures and stuff, characters and stuff now, I think they're just going up a little bit because Hot Toys general basic prices have gone up,
Yeah, we've talked about this many times, so we won't get into it too much. But like they definitely need to keep the pricing in a certain area of acceptability, because if not, as it keeps going up, it's like that budget-friendly cost that they like to promote.
And there are and you do have to keep in mind now, not as well known as this IP. I'm sure part of the reason some of these are more expensive in the pricing point is just the IP. It's it's mainline Marvel, it's Star Wars, stuff like that. Those are just expensive IPs just to make them. But like to put in context, you might remember that 3-0 Inferno Cherno from Pacific Rim that I sent you some pictures of. That's a 6 scale-ish size figure. Obviously a little bit bigger than this guy. It's a big figure. But that was a die-cast metal that was like $219. So it's like less than Vader or the same price as Darth Vader. So I mean, I think I think partially if they were just, I don't know, they were like not a third party, but just like a concept sci-fi piece that Hot Toys was doing with Sideshow. They've had some of their concept statues and stuff. Like we're doing our own kind of Star Wars-y or style of thing. If Star Wars didn't exist, they probably would be cheaper. Not maybe a ton, but they might be $10 or $15 cheaper. I think part of it is the license for those. So that's just the one thing you do need to keep in mind. But hey, like that Iron Man, I want to see what that comes out looking like, because I'm very interested in how that one.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting because the materials and everything are different. I'm curious because it is not a bad price point. It's a good alternative
for an Iron Man, for heaven's sakes, too.
It's a good alternative, without going completely back to the original plastic, but doing something a bit different. I think it's a cool idea. So we'll see how it turns out. Sal, it's funny you say that because someone actually sent me a GIF earlier. I think it might have been 1/6 Lovers. He sent me the GIF of that, and I thought that was hilarious.
He does kind of look like that. I won't lie.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. Crazy you got that evil woman on your profile picture. Assistant to the regional Sith says, I feel like this figure was just announced. Yeah, it did actually release early, I believe. I think this is early, ahead of schedule, which is pretty cool. And to see that...
Not super early. It was last spring?
No, it's just a bit ahead of schedule. Something like that. But it does look really good. There's no degradation for the most part. Of course, there's probably minor details that have changed, but it looks pretty good.
I do think for this guy, because he's got the big kind of, and the character in the movie had this too, because of the big eyes he has a very big dead stare. So I do really think, because he does have some head movement, especially with the his front Leku. I don't know if you talked about that already because those were
They're
wired or
posable,
something.
yeah. You can see it in the photos, yeah.
Yeah. So this guy probably you are going to need to kind of get his head a little bit, like a little turn or something like that. So it gives not quite that full straight. I think straight on it looks too dead starey a little bit, but that's just because it's a big mask. I mean, there's not anything you can really do about that. But I do think that this guy, you got to have his head maybe trying it a little bit to a side or have him pose kind of a little bit to the side or something. And I think that'll take care of the dead stare look that the figure has.
Yeah, I'm sure you could work it out and kind of have his head at a slight head tilt as well. I'm sure it's going to look
I like
good
the suit, but the suit, the material on his Jedi robes looks really tight. Like they really tightened it up. Like the whatever dyeing or anything they did onto the material looks fantastic. Like it really looks like
I think the tunic looks really nice too. I think that's my favorite bit of detail is how the tunic is sitting on his body too. It looks really nice. By the way, what's up, Jose? Jose says, "Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad Connor decided." Dude, last week I was the lone survivor. Everybody else canceled. I could have done it, but I'm like, you know what? I got stuff going on. Might as well just do a pass this week. But Jose is one of the many. All my buddies always giving me crap every time I don't stream. That's crazy, man. Doing it live. X-Men Supreme says, I voted cop. I'm not copping him, but he is a worthy offering. Well, thank you. We got to inflate these numbers. It has to be a majority cop, guys. Come on now. You voted flop for Kit Fisto. Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
Great. No, but it's all right.
I can understand maybe not wanting to pick it up because
57% cop right now. That's what I like to see.
Yeah. I can see where I can see where people wouldn't pick up, but it's the same thing like where you wouldn't maybe pick up Captain Enoch or some of those characters because they even might look cool, but it's just like if you've only seen the movies or the live action, you just remember he's a guy who he lasted 3 lightsaber blows from the Emperor and then became calamari. Kinda.
Yeah, like in the Clone, like Chris and I were saying earlier, like in the Clone Wars, I feel like he was done much more justice, and then he just kind of got destroyed.
But that's a lot of the Jedi.
Sidious.
But that's part of the reason for it is like, hey, these guys weren't just chumps you got, killed in 3 seconds. Which kind of actually helps build up the Emperor and just how powerful he is too. And now if you go back and watch that, because you're like, I saw these guys slice apart like 500 battle droids, and they got taken out so quickly. Ooh, boy. No wonder Mace Windu's having a hard time or barely surviving. But do you like how I don't know, Chris, if you guys talked about it. Do you guys prefer the episode 3 look, or do you guys kind of like it with where he, the Clone Wars kind of with the gauntlet? I know Windu had kind of a similar
Well, to answer your question, Lane, I got 2, so because that's what I've been doing and I love this pose, by the way. This is an awesome pose. I love how the hand rests over the other, but I did get 2 of these for that reason. I've been getting 2 of each that have the Clone Wars alternate look, just because I love the Clone Wars so much. So if I had to pick one, it would be the Revenge of the Sith look with the full robes and everything. That's just my preferred
That's
look.
That's personally what I bought it for, is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. He fits. Is like, you and I talked about that, one time not too long ago, is that it does seem like the Revenge of the Sith line is a little bit more robust than we're, initially would think about it right now, because, in the year of the 20th anniversary, if you include like Kit Fisto and Plo Koon having been announced already and stuff, we're getting a decent number of figures actually from the movie to go, that's excluding, the old Obi-Wan and Anakin or something. But like they're really actually putting out a pretty decent than with, the exclusives that they've had recently too. So I think but hey, you know what? Guys like him too, is if you've been on the fence about getting like a droideka or something, guys, Jedi like him and Plo Koon and, that Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan are going to be good incentive to maybe pick up one of those.
Yeah, this is going to look really good with Mace especially. I'm excited to put this guy next to Mace. Like, that's what I'm most excited for.
I was going to say I'm building out my Chancellor arrest scene.
Yeah. I still want to see that Sacy 10 go up for pre-order. They teased it not long ago. I think he's going to look really cool. So
what do you guys think? Because since we're looking at the Jedi and stuff like this, who do you think is most like, and just who would you say is what you feel most like? And it may be years still down the road, but you could see as the most likely, leaving out Sacy 10 since they already have showed him, at least hinted at him. what would be other Jedi you think you could see Hot Toys actually doing of the?
Ayla Secura.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say like Darth Balrog. By the way, what's up, Darth Balrog? Darth Balrog
Who?
mentions Ayla Secura here. He says, "I wonder if women look at Kit Fisto the same way I look at Ayla Secura." Like,
Well,
Ayla Secura would be an obvious one that's missing.
with
Shakti.
Shakti,
I think those are
Yaddle.
the two lady. I think
I'm a Gundai.
Yeah, I could see. I think Ayala Secura is a very likely one. You know, ones that were featured somewhere probably.
I think-
Clone Wars.
I think like I'm a Gundy's more likely than Ayla Secura because she has that middle
know
section
what's-
where you can see her torso. I think she's less likely because of that. To be honest with you,
Dude, Ventress is a must.
Yeah.
Eric is right about that. There
Ventress is
is
long
one-
overdue.
I don't know if people would agree with this, but only because she played a huge role, like in the video game. Well, now there's two people that come to mind, but it's Syndralic and what's her name? The lady who runs the temple, and she talks to Obi-Wan in the second one as well.
Joe
Oh,
Costa
you're talking.
knew?
Yeah,
Yeah.
librarian, Jedi librarian.
Yeah, which they have done. I think they did a 3.75 figure of her in the past.
Yeah, they.
And
I
maybe a
could. I
Black
could
Series as
see
well.
they do. I mean, there are a lot of interesting Jedi that they could do. I think some of the ones you guys are talking about are more likely, especially if they could tie them in Revenge of the Sith or along those
Yeah,
lines.
give me the younglings that were slayed too.
Yeah. Master Skywalker. My name is not Master.
Yeah.
It's Darth, fool.
We got Steve in the house, figures in the fandom. He says, "Guys, what's up, my friend? A channel member and a good friend." And Steve, you're supposed to be going to see Ballerina. That's what you told me, at least. So maybe you're in between your haircut and seeing Ballerina, because I know you
Do you
haven't
guys
seen
think
it yet.
we'll get a pick? Do you think, speaking there, well, maybe after we finish with Plo, I'd be interested to hear if you guys think we'll actually get a Ballerina.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hot
You
Toys.
have to, bro.
Hot Toys did tease it, and Ana de Armas is a huge actress, so I think so. I think we'll get it. Yeah.
I mean,
I think
they,
that'll probably
they did
be
that
it.
for Stitch, and then look what they did, and people thought they weren't gonna do. It's like it seems lately, as of late, when they post up about these movies, they've done something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. X-Men Supreme says it would be cool to have all the Jedi, but I'm just not collecting Star Wars. That's fair. I am collecting Star Wars like that, but I totally understand it.
But
I
there's
Dude,
also
you're
a
more
Jedi
than
difference.
collecting Star Wars like that. Like I'm collecting Star Wars, and you're collecting like
And I'm collecting Star Wars
IP
playset
itself.
too. Yeah. It just, there's like 40 figures a year for Star Wars get announced, so you can't really collect all of Star Wars.
unless you're
At all.
Connor, and then you buy duplicates. too.
Yeah, well, you know, we're not all, you know.
I'm sorry, are we talking about me or Kit Fisto here, Lane?
Well, I mean,
Darth Balrog says, I'm changing the subject. Darth Balrog says, I feel obligated to get every Jedi released now, though I could have worse problems. Exactly, Darth Balrog. I want to answer this question. Assistant to Regional Sith asked, are you guys going to talk about Killer of Killers? I'm
Not
curious to
seen
hear
it.
your guys' take on the movie. So, yeah, I'm sure Chris and Lane have not seen it yet. I have seen it, and you guys know I'm a big Predator guy. It was excellent. It really was, especially the little teaser at the end. If you have not seen it, it was really, really cool to see. Let's just say it ties in. There's a couple things, quite a few things, actually, that tie into Prey, but it was very good. The animation style was beautiful. I think it was made in Unreal Engine. It looks amazing. Yeah, it's a
and
really
we got a new
awesome
live action
film.
one that's coming, which looks like
Yeah,
it's going to tie in
Badlands.
more into Alien versus Predator. So hey, maybe
Well, also Ridley Scott said that he's no longer doing anything with, so that is even more hope for Alien versus Predator, because he was the only one that was really holding that up, because he did not like the idea of them being like shared canon in some ways. He did not
well,
like that.
Disney threw
So-
that in the wastebasket pretty much at this point. Like,
Yeah, so
I mean, we don't.
it's a
need to
good
make
thing that
those-
he announced
we
he's no
don't need
longer
to make the
involved.
old AVP Predators canon anymore. Even though I love both of those movies, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know if
they're-
they'll go back that far, but at least we know that there's probably a new AVP in the works. But yes, you guys have to see it. I won't spoil it because there's a lot of really cool little nods and lore building, and yeah, it's awesome. And there's some really cool Yautjas in it, like some really badass ones that we haven't seen before, and some really cool gadgets. Like you saw it in the trailer. The one dude has like a sonic cannon on his missing limb. It's a really cool, unique.
All I'm
movie,
gonna tell Hot Toys, if you guys do any figures of those Predators, just make sure you be aware a certain hunter is gonna be cloaked watching you with you in his sights.
Dude, they need to make all of them. They need to make them. I'm telling you, there are so many badass designs, and I would love to see that art style and figure form. It would be really cool. It would be like an animated art style, but I don't care. I would totally buy those. So,
well, it could translate
definitely
to something like the Samurai Predator, which was the artist's art style.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could. It would be interesting, especially the first Predator you see with that like sonic boom cannon on his arm. He's massive. He's like bigger than like a super Predator. He's more like the Predator from the 2018 film. So it would be cool to see him in figure
Predator.
form. Yes, yeah, he's massive, but he's
I
different.
hope he's cooler than that Predator.
He is. Oh, 15
Good.
minutes. Okay, got it. And he's got the fresh cut. Yes, Luminara. That's another one that's missing for sure.
Oh,
Luminara is definitely one that's long overdue. And Barisafi, she had a really cool story, especially in like Tales of the Jedi.
Until they mess it up.
Yeah.
Until they mess it up. I would love since we got Inquisitors and stuff, do her Inquisitor form. Would be awesome.
Yes, that Predator, yeah, he was massive. Yeah, that's the one we were talking about. Yeah, you'll see, each story has a special name tying into... I don't want to mess it up, ruin it for you guys because it's such a surprise.
It's kind of cool. It's a bunch of different kind of short films put together.
Yes, but not how you think. Not quite how you think. There's multiple stories, but they all tie in, and the characters.
So it's not quite like the Animatrix, which was years ago, which was like individual stories that had some kind of connective tissue to the greater universe.
You'll see. It's like they're all stories, but they're intertwined, and I can't say any more without spoiling how they do it. So I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But guys, let's close the poll now on Kit Fisto. Hurry up and vote because I'm closing it now. We have 33 votes. 61% say cop. 39% say flop. So we're going to end the poll there. Love to see it. A vast majority care about the Kit Fisto. But for those that don't, I totally understand. It's not like a main character, so I totally understand. Guys, we're going to move on to this one. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but I do want to share my thoughts on it.
This was an interesting announcement.
Yeah, I don't like this. I'll start by saying this. I don't like this suit. It's not necessarily like a fault of Hot Toys. The one thing that Chris and I were talking about, though, that I'm like, why does every suit from this game have to have spider legs? Every single one has spider legs. Every single one.
So annoying.
I get it. Like, you could swap your suits in the game.
They want to maximize their money for the...
right, just from throwing in the spider legs. It's so crazy to me.
Then you have to spend time on painting it and stuff, so...
Well, yeah, I like the... I mean, I like the... Like, even though it's not what I'm getting, but like the Miles Prowler... because it doesn't have all of the goofiness like this one. I like the spider legs, but it feels like we've run the course with using these.
I just that too, and like this suit does not look good with the spider legs. That little Oscorp container, that's cool. That's what you use with this figure. You throw it on his back, it's magnetic. Also, I know a lot of people are probably curious about the material. They use leather-like, but they don't say pleather. They say it's like an elastic type of material, so I guess that means it's flexible and won't flake. But here's my... And Chris and I were kind of talking about this earlier, Lane, and I'm sure you probably had the same thoughts. How are these legs going to stay on here without falling off, considering they are magnetic? These are magnetic legs. They're supposed to just hang there. You could put them whatever pose. Those magnets have to be very, very strong to keep these on his back. I'm very curious to see, because Hot Toys magnets, some of them strength-wise have been hit or miss. Like even the ones where like the Stormtroopers have the pistol that magnetizes to their thigh plate. It's not the strongest magnet. So something that these are actually like decently heavy for what they are on the other figures. I'm very curious to see how these work. Like imagine like trying to pose these. Like you're gonna have to pre-pose them and then magnetize them. I don't know.
It's like, hey, I'm out in my leather jacket. Let me pull out my from out of like literally like RKO from out of nowhere my giant spider ass legs. Even though I mean I know it's a video game, so they just kind of magically appear when you're playing anyway. But like in figure form, those make sense on the advanced suit, the black suit with the goo. I mean, they didn't even include him with the anti-venom at all. They don't have it with that. I mean, he used kind of more of the, symbiote goo stuff, which is why he comes with those. But even superior suit, I think actually superior suit, like I told you, I had seen someone for that suit actually attach the Doc Ock legs to it, since that was Doc Ock Spider-Man, and that's the way the suit had him in the comics when he was Superior Spider-Man. But I can say safely, I hate this suit. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, like X-Man Supreme, he says, this suit is awesome. What are you talking about? X-Man, I'm normally all for different stuff. It's just not for me, dude. I don't like it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know. I don't like how the jacket fits his upper torso. I'm just not a fan.
See, for me, it's not so much that. It's when I think of Spider-Man, I'm thinking just your classic red and blue. So even when I play the game, even though I gain these suits, I kind of like just playing normally with a simple suit. I don't really
see. I like the alternate suits. It's just this is not the coolest.
Yeah, some of them are really cool colors, but like
the black suit.
This wouldn't be my go-to if it was lined up. That's
yeah, I agree. But I will say the Oscorp container, that's fire. That's really cool. I like that you can magnetize it to his back. I'm sure the magnets can hold that just fine. But holding those spider legs, I'm not quite sure that's going to be... Yeah, elastic fabric. So it's not pleather. It's elastic fabric. Very curious to see. So X-Man, you're going to have to buy this to take one for the team because I'm not buying it. So we could see what that's about. Yeah, the Superior suit, I could tell you because I've had that in hand. It's incredible. The Superior suit is really, really dope. That's actually one of my favorite suits from the game. That's such a beautiful suit, and Hot Toys did such a good job on that one. Right, so, yeah, Robert, yeah, you're kind of like on the same wavelength as Chris and I, and probably Lane, too. Like, this just doesn't scream Spider-Man, which I'm fine with. Like, I like these alternate suits. It's just... It's like Spider-Man Noir is kind of like somewhat along these lines, and I like the Spider Noir suit more. I can't wait for the Nicolas Cage show, and I hope that we get a figure from that so I can put it with my Across the Spider-Verse into the Spider-Verse stuff.
I just feel like of so many of the... I mean, okay, this is just an exclusive, so I feel like where it's not our cup of tea, this feels like... But honestly, I feel like this is an exclusive that's going to sit there like the Prowler.
And this is what, 1,500 pieces, Lane?
Yeah, something like that, I think.
I feel like also the Jagger, like you said, it fits his torso. I think it's also, it seems a little thick or looks thick. So, like, I feel like posing is going to be huge.
Yeah, that elastic fabric.
Figure.
I'm very curious about that elastic fabric. I don't know what that means for us in terms of posing. Yeah, I do agree. This on a motorcycle would look a lot cooler.
Oh, yeah.
It would. The spider legs just look so stupid on this suit. For me personally, I'm not trying to crap on it if you guys want it. Sal says that the magnets are flawless and work super well. I might be a little upset they couldn't do it for the black suit. Yeah, I mean, knock on wood, I don't see that happening. Not that they're just gonna fall off, but I feel like they're gonna be kind of a pain in the ass, and you might have to like pre-pose them. Whereas like with the other figures that have these spider legs, the many others, you can kind of have it ported in the back and then pose it while it's on his back. It's just gonna be interesting for sure. Look who it is, the Figure Hideout. Figure Hideout, I was just talking about you, dude. I was singing your praises, and now here you are. Well, it's great to have you here, dude. I've recently become a big fan of the Figure Hideout. I feel like I comment on almost every one of his videos. Figure Hideout, I don't do YouTube Shorts nearly as much as you, because that's like your bread and butter, and I feel like you put me to shame. So, dude, I appreciate you for being here.
Lightsaber lights?
Yeah, and
Can't
Figure
beat
Hideout...
that, bro.
Another thing, dude, that I want to say while you're here is I remember when you posted photos of your studio and we pulled it up on stream. I wish I could tell you what stream number it was because it was so funny. We're just
it puts
like,
everybody's collection to shame.
You shit on us with your production studio, dude. Like I remember we were looking at the photos and we're like, holy crap! Like this is like a dream setup, and this guy gets to be in here every single day. Like,
I'm just thinking, like you see that, and then you look at like you and me, and we're just in our room, or you have like fucking pinned down fucking cloth or some.
I know, dude.
Like
yeah,
it's
like
day and night.
Figure Hideout. You're sitting here making these fancy videos and putting us to shame, and I've got a sheet on a table trying to film a figure, and I'm like, dude, this guy is putting me to shame. So Figure Out I appreciate you popping in, dude. I hope you're doing well. I think I could say for all of us, we appreciate what you do. Having the early stuff to be able to give us some peace of mind is, and I tell this to all the guys over in Hong Kong and anybody that gets early figures, sometimes I do. We really appreciate what you do. So if people don't tell you that enough in your comments, I just want to tell you that. And I appreciate you for popping in. But yeah, guys, you got to give Figure Hideout some love, dude. He really does us a service. And Figure Hideout, put in a good word with me with Howard Chan, if you will. Let him know, like, hey, this guy really wants the best for you, and he wants you to fix that Jungle Hunter Predator 2.0.
Now we gotta stop him.
A day in the office. If it's just
Like,
another
sit down,
day,
you're like, let's do it, man. Do it.
if it's another day in the office figure hideout, just let Howard know, like, hey,
Oh,
I could really help you out. Could
He's
really
like-
help you out with that Jungle Hunter.
He's
Predator
like all
figure
nice,
out.
and then he's like, "Please, Mr. Hideout, sir, if you could throw
Just
in
tell
the
him,
good
dude.
word."
Oh, that's so funny. But thank you so much for being here, bro. As always, I appreciate you for everything that you do. Big Dog Pound says 25 likes and 49 people watching. Smash that like button. Yes, sir. We got to smash that like button. Get those numbers up. Like I said, we had a slow start today, guys. Camera was going down on me, but that's okay because we're here and you guys are here with us, so I appreciate you. We got my boy. I told you guys he was here in spirit. Although Mike couldn't make it on the stream today, he's here in spirit. Mike, one of the Hotline Hottie Supremes. That's what we're going to call Mike because he came up with all the cool names, so he gets his own name. He's one of the Hotline Hottie Supremes. Mike says, hi, guys. Mike, I hope you're doing well, bro. Thank you so much for checking in. I know it's hard for you to make it sometimes as of late, but I appreciate you being here as always. But yeah, Noon Tunes kind of takes the, or no, sorry, not Noon Tunes. Whose video am I missing on? Here we go. So Figure Hideout says, thanks to studios in Asia. I'm currently in Canada and I haven't been back for almost a year. I dream. Dude, how could you leave that beautiful studio just in ruins? It's going to be like
crazy.
One of those urban explorers on YouTube is going to like break a window and go into your studio. So,
You got to rent it out like an Airbnb, like a museum thing.
I know, dude. Like maybe we have to go to Asia and rent out your studio so I can look professional one time in my reviews. So figure out, if you don't mind me asking, are you from Canada? Are you from Asia originally? Because I know in some of your videos, I was like, oh, your English is really good. So I didn't know if you're from Asia. Like, because, for example,
he has 2 channels. I think he
has the Planet
33.
33 is his other one, I think. Your other one's Planet 33, and that's all in your native language. And then you are from Hong Kong. Okay. So your English is just really good, dude. I mean, props to you, because I only know English. I'm a loser. But that's interesting. I didn't know that. It's good to know a little bit more about you because, I'm sure, taking time out of your busy day with all the videos you do, I don't get to ask you those questions. So that's cool to know. That's cool to hear. Batman Collectibles in the house. What's up, my dude? Batman Collectibles says evening hotline panel. Good evening to you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Figure Hideout. Moving on to our next figure, are you going to be, and we're going to move on from Peter Parker, The Last Stand suit. I think we kind of shared our thoughts on it. Not for me. I think it's cool. LE 1500, right where it should be. Now, this is one that, is a bit disappointing, guys. You guys know, especially Chris and I on the panel here.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering if you had already gotten this guy. Just get him out of the way first, because...
Yeah, so, guys, you guys know Chris and I are big Harry Potter fans. Anything that InArt does when it comes to the Harry Potter line, we're going to eat it up. For this one in particular, though, it's a bit of a letdown in its current state. I feel like, number one, I think my first complaint for this one, and someone had mentioned that this looks like Baron Trump, and I literally cannot unsee it. Because I had to look up what he looks like.
I don't know. I think he looks more like, you remember that guy I sent you this afternoon?
Yes.
Earlier today? The Dungeon Master?
Dude.
From that 80s movie?
Dude, like I said, I did see what you were talking about. For me, I'm like, I can't unsee Baron Trump. Oh, so you did. So that makes sense then. Dude, Figure Hideout. Like I feel like you just had such like a rise to stardom when it comes to the 1/6 scale stuff. I feel like I wasn't familiar with your channel, and then I'm seeing you everywhere, and then you got Hot Toys sharing your stuff, which is like, that must be super cool to you. I don't think Hot Toys has ever shared anything, and I'm Hot Toys Hotline. I stole their name, and that's crazy that they've never shared any of my stuff. Like,
man, you just admitted I stole their name.
I might have to sue them. Like they haven't shared any of my stuff. But yeah, it's like I said, it's cool to hear some background information on you, and it's cool to see you popping in, man. I sound like such a fanboy. Maybe I am a fan. Maybe I am a Figure Hideout fan and a Planet 33 fanboy. Although I don't really watch Planet 33, I'll be honest with you. Draco Malfoy is great. So yeah, my complaint with this one, guys, my main complaint with this one, especially in the first film, Draco was such a little ass. Like he really had that attitude. He really had that bully energy. And I feel like I see what they were going for with this. It's just too, and maybe from this angle, it's not really giving my thoughts justice, but especially from this angle here, I think he looks too nice. I think he just looks too nice. He needs more of that smirk, more, or even that like
Kinda
Chris's brother and
setting
I were talking about,
expression and
right?
stuff.
Like Chris's brother was saying, like even like a flat, more of like a flat expression where he's just angry, either a smirk or like a more angry expression. I feel like that's
It's
just
something with his forehead. There's like the forehead feels big, like there's almost.
for me. It's the eyes and the mouth. It's the
Yeah.
eyes and the mouth that yeah, especially from this angle here.
He
you
does look more
really-
like Junior Jason Isaacs, almost kind of. But like
I
if
don't
Jason
know,
Isaacs
man.
got zapped down or something.
I don't know. It's such a shame too because Tom Felton he's reprising the role on Broadway, which is really cool. So I don't know, man. Like I said, is this like a complete? I'm not going to be picking this figure up. Of course, I'm going to pick it up. It's still way better than the Star Ace one. I think the rooted hair here looks awesome. It's just that expression. It's too nice looking. Draco needs to look like a little asshole. I need Draco to look like a little asshole, and he doesn't quite look assholey enough here, if that makes sense. Like I just need him to look a little more mean. And Chris and I were talking about the accessories. Kind of bare in comparison. And another thing that Chris was talking about with his wife, because she's also a big Harry Potter fan, and we joke because she's like an InArt fangirl as well, because she really likes the Harry Potter stuff especially. The inclusion of Fang with him, though we obviously know the reference there from the Forbidden Forest, and this lantern here goes along with that display as well. It's kind of weird. Like, it's like they really didn't think too outside of the box for this one, though. It will be cool to have Fang. I don't know if we're ever going to get a Hagrid from even J&D, who said they were going to do one.
Yeah.
So it's like Chris had said, like, what are we supposed to do? Display him and Harry together like this right here? And it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. I kind of want to have him separate and kind of have them as adversaries, not them walking together, I get what they were going for. Like I said, this is a scene in the film, like when they're in the Forbidden Forest, they take Fang with them. It's just, I don't know. I feel like they should have focused more on the school side of accessories, but maybe on their side, they wanted to include more of the pets with all of the characters, because as of right now, every single one of the kids have included some sort of pet. So maybe that was just an easy way to keep it consistent with the line. I don't know. And then Chris, another thing, and then we'll move on to your thoughts. By the way, guys, this is supposedly going up for pre-order on the 13th. All this information has been shared in like Hong Kong-based and Korean-based groups. Nothing on the official like InArt Facebook page. I don't think I've seen anything pop up even before we went live. So far, nothing officially from InArt, but obviously these are official photos. These aren't like stolen photos or anything. It's back. Remember like when InArt, like the Harry Potter box leaked, and they're like, yeah, that's not our box. It was the box. So even if they told me this wasn't real, I wouldn't believe them. But
So what he's saying is still from Hot Toys, but not in art.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, very, very interesting. The accessories that come with this one. It's very bare bones in comparison. Harry Potter especially came with a ton of stuff. So I'm hoping that the price point reflects that, though I don't know if it will. I think it'll probably be around the same price point.
If you can really get him in that pose, it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Clone Trooper says, how dare Tom Felton not grow his face probably to match his perfect InArt head. Right. Yeah, like I said, it's really exciting to see him reprising his role, and he hasn't really had too much acting-wise since then, so it's cool to see him get more opportunities. Noontune says that face is so up. Yeah, like InArt has been really solid with their stuff, and yeah, it's interesting to see this, how much of a miss it is. I hate
It's
to say
like
that,
he's
'cause it's
in there,
encouraging,
but I think, like you said, it's maybe not the right expression for a 1/6 scale interpretation. Because like I can see him in there, but something is off or missing. Like something's not quite 100%.
yeah.
But like
Yeah,
you
I
said,
agree.
I'm gonna pick it up myself. I got Harry here. Hand him my light work.
That's
Show
the
him the
InArt one
scar.
right there.
Show him the
That's
scar.
crazy. Boy's got a wig on. He's got a toupee. Yeah, I mean, like, of course, I'm going to pick it up. I'm complaining, but I'm picking it up. Yeah,
Get
like,
him, Harry.
Peyton, he needs more. Like, I feel like the mouth needs to be, like, turned up a little bit more. We got Gio, the movie canon, a channel member of Hotline Hottie, and a good friend. What's up, my dude? Thank you for being here. Figure Hideout says, I really appreciate it, man. Still trying to do better and make some quality. Dude, I'm going to say here, I think you do the best short content. I just think the lighting and the little, like, goofy, I think I made a comment about the little stupid voice you did in one of your videos. That's the type of stuff I do, so I think that stuff's funny. I think you're doing a great job, dude. Don't change. You're doing unique, original stuff. I think you're doing a great job, man. And Figure Hideout, I don't know if you've been on a stream yet, but if you want to make your streaming debut, come on the Hot Toys Hotline. We'll take care of you. I would love to have you on chat, and I will not treat you like a celebrity. We'll just talk about figures. That's what we do here. So,
Yep.
I know some people like to remain faceless, and I totally respect that. But if you would be up to it, dude, let me know, man. I would love to have you on. Clone Trooper says, I'm getting all the InArt Harry Potter figures to date, but I'll wait and see if InArt posts an updated sculpt before pre-ordering this one. Yeah, another interesting thing, Chris and Lane, that we saw that was not officially posted by InArt that I saw, at least not in the American Facebook groups, was that
table?
they did the potion table for Snape. Chris and I were bitching in the comments, among many other people, asking for that potion table. Because, like, you can't include a table full of potions, show them on a table in the photos, and then you don't get the potions. Like,
Yeah, and then just put them on the floor. When with Ron, like, they gave you a little stand for that chessboard and a bench for him to sit on. So they could definitely do a table. And the fact that we also talked about this in previous, looking back at the older pre-order, like, he came with the couch and everything, and that's completely missing from here, right? There's no couch.
Yeah.
And with Snape, that Patronus base you were talking about.
So Chris and I were reminded this morning that originally with Snape, when at the InArt event, they showed him with like a Lily Potter's Patronus, the stag, and it was like, or is it a doe? I think hers. Anyways, it's like kind of it has like that like magic effect curling around, and then dude, it's so cool. And unfortunately, I was just reminded of it today, and I mentioned it to Chris, and he was like, "Crap, I forgot about that too." So we're not getting the Patronus base, unfortunately.
Different film anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And because they went for the Half-Blood Prince, you can't even include that because that was not shown in that film. That was prior to that. So, yeah, it sucks.
Well, I will say it is nice to see that InArt is sticking with beyond just the initial three, of the Potter figures from the movie, because we weren't sure originally necessarily how deep were they. That was one thing we were asking. When they first like Harry a couple of years ago, like how deep are they just going to do the other three? Will we just get Harry? It's or will they follow? Because it was still relatively new for InArt putting stuff out. But now that they've gone into all the way through to Draco Malfoy, like we're starting to get
Lane, try that again, please. We can't let that slide. Draco. Say it
Draco.
with me, Lane. There we go, Lane.
Draco Malfoy. Because
Lane, sometimes we let it pass, and then they start mentioning it in the comments. So we'll cut it off before we give them the chance. look at Chris laughing, dude. But yeah, Draco. Sorry, Lane. Sorry.
Did Big Dog Pound show up? So Chris had to go into Hulk Hogan mode.
Probably.
Yeah, I did.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
He's R-Truth mode now. He's
what you gonna do, bro?
Now he just
runs. Hot Toys Hotline runs wild.
It's just killings mode at this point now.
Draco's Modern Life. That's crazy. Yes, Figure Hideout. Now you can't say no because you've said it officially in writing. But yeah, I would love to have you on, dude. That'd be cool.
I have it now. I have it.
I have you now.
You're in my side.
Figure Hideout. I will wait for a week of like maybe closer to like ACG HK. I know maybe you'll be busy during that time with all your like a bunch of announcements. Who knows? But I'll hit you up when we get some really cool stuff around ACG HK, and if it works, maybe if we have to push a stream back a little bit, I'll work with you because I would love to have you on and just chat with you and hear your thoughts on stuff, because you do so much showcase and we don't get to hear your thoughts enough on everything, even though you try to fit it in your videos here and there, of course. But yeah, it'd be cool, man. I would love to have you on. It'd be awesome to have you on. Maybe I brought more
visits Morocco.
Draco's Modern Life, Lane, or this is more Draco than that is true. Lane's onto something there. Maybe this is Draco Malfoy. This is not quite Draco Malfoy. Ivan Draco. That's crazy, dude. X-Man's on fire tonight. We got to give him some brownie points for that. But yeah, dude, it's like I said.
I think from far away it gets worse. Like the eyes are too sunken in or something.
Yeah.
Like up close, when you can see the eyes, it's a bit better. But far away, kind of loses.
Yeah.
With the shading in the eyes, he looks like vampire ghoul.
I was gonna say it could be lighting too. That the paint has to look a little softer.
They look
Who
very
knows?
soft, and it could also be, yeah, the way that the lighting is interacting with that super blonde hair on that pale white skin. It could be throwing
I
off.
mean,
I don't know,
and to
but
be honest, like the Harry Potter line, like it is to capture on camera a little bit softer for some reason, like because they're kids. But I don't.
it's when
I don't
people were
know.
like
You
bleaching
just
their
gotta
hair with
wait and see.
peroxide. Yeah. I agree. I think if there's enough comments on it, I mean, obviously this is going up for pre-order. This is the pre-order figure right here. But I feel like if there's enough comments on it, people are gonna, mention it and they're gonna do some adjustments potentially. But
Oh, I'm pre-ordering it because like it's
yeah.
better than Star Aces Malfoy.
Yes, and I remember my buddy Dave earlier sent me a picture of the Star Ace Malfoy. He's like, let's just not forget that this is
Yeah,
what they did. And I'm
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
I feel like we should bring it up. I feel like we should. Come on now.
yeah.
We
Because
gotta have a
it's
little laugh.
comical, bro. But
If you
yeah,
guys want to
people
know
are
some,
laughing at this, bro.
yeah, for those of you guys that, we always make these comments about Star Race, and some of you guys are probably like, oh, it can't be
Dude,
that
they
bad.
never
But
should have had their Goblin figures.
They're
Not
always
bad.
bad.
Some of them are good, but the actual human characters.
Bro, like, who from Warner Brothers was like, yeah, let's give these guys the, like, what the,
Even the tailoring, dude.
bro.
The
I think I
neck's
have.
a head sculpt, bro. It looks like a bobblehead.
I think I have Christmas ornaments that have more detail than this. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not
wow! Oh my god!
not even
my
joking,
eye.
bro.
Can I say my eyes have been assaulted? Like, oh my god!
And you
Yeah,
would think this figure is like 20 years old. It's not, guys. This is like what, from like 2016, 2017. Like,
oh my god!
Hot Toys
Oh,
Ripley is not like barely at newer than
like a
that.
year
Like,
later or something. Like
yeah, like this is. So yes, guys. Of course, if you're a Harry Potter fan, looking
is what
back
you
on
had
this,
before.
you're like, cool. We're going from this to this, and it sucks because like as you go back and forth, you're like, oh, it's still not that good, but. Yeah, it is a lot better. It is a lot better than the Star Race version. So,
yeah.
Travis says,
if you were trying to say not better than that, I would go, bro. Time to go get your eyes checked. That would be...
yeah, I think the best stuff that Star Race has done recently was like this. I think it was like a 1/7, probably 1/7 or 1/8 scale Slimer, and then they did a couple other Ghostbusters. Related stuff, not their Ghostbusters figure, not the actual Ghostbusters, but they like the creatures like the Stay Puft Marshmallow. They did like a really small scale version of that, obviously because he's massive in the film, but they're neither a star nor an ace. I was
You
so
should have shown
happy to
him Harry
hear
Potter though too, because that one's even worse than he is.
the Snape.
The glasses are like this on him.
Shout out to Austin Nicholas, because I know he loves that Snape, and he defends that one a lot, and I feel bad roasting it, but I think the Snape is really bad too. Like, it is probably one of the better ones, to be fair. It is one of the better ones, but yeah, Star Ace, they really disrespected this line.
No,
and so
not
that,
Snape. I'm
I'm sorry, Snape. I'm saying Snape. Voldemort.
It's what's
sorry.
his name?
Yeah, Voldemort. It's
Voldemort.
Yeah, I don't know why I was saying Snape. Their Snape is really bad, but yes, the Voldemort is the
But
one.
I agree. The Voldemort, like I said, the characters
Not
that are
not the
non-human,
yelling one. He's like the yelling one. He's like,
yeah,
that's what he looks like. But the
Yeah.
regular face is not as bad.
it's not bad.
Yeah,
And the goblins aren't bad. Like the Green Gots goblins, they're not bad either.
yeah, like Grip Hook and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Ace did a really good job on the Batman Ninja line, but damn, this is all. Yeah, I have seen those Ninja figures. They're actually not terrible. Not something that I would ever get, but. Oh yeah, thank you, Big Dog Pound. I forgot we did hit 6K over the past couple weeks. I know we didn't go live last week, but yeah, we did hit 6K. So thanks, guys. I don't do a lot of YouTube Shorts lately. I plan to get back into it because YouTube Shorts are what really helps you out with subs as of late because they're just really. So 6K subs for doing mostly like long form content and lives. I'm very proud of because it's doing it the old school way, if you will. It's not easy. So. I do appreciate that. I really very much appreciate that. 6,000 is wild. I don't know if I even deserve 5,000, but here we are. So I appreciate you guys, every one of you guys who subbed along the way. And don't you worry, because we will be doing some giveaways in the near future. So yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you, Big Dog Pound, for pointing that out. I almost forgot. I was going to mention at the beginning of the stream. I completely forgot about it. So I appreciate that. We got Valk. Valk said he potentially wasn't going to be able to make it, so I appreciate you making it in, my friend. A channel member, a hotline hottie, and a moderator, and just an all-around total gentleman. Valk, thank you so much for being here, my friend. I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. And yes, Yomo makes a great point. Where is all of the other stuff like the Daenerys and the mentioned Jon Snow and the BVS 2.0 Batman and Dumbledore and Catwoman and Christopher Reeve, Superman and Clark Kent? Like, I really wanted those. Star ass. That's crazy. Yeah, so I don't know, dude. I love my InArt stuff. I really do. As a company, they're very hard to predict right now, truly. Yeah, the Christopher Reeve, Clark Kent, and Superman, I want those so bad, dude. I sold my Hot Toys one, which reminds me, Jordan Skinner said hello earlier, and I completely missed her comment. I apologize, Jordan. It was in my head, and I completely missed it. But thank you for being, if you're still here, Jordan, thank you for popping in. Completely missed her comment. But yes, I sold my Hot Toys one to Jordan a while back, and I know she's really enjoying it. And that figure still holds up decently well for how old it is. I really think it has that classic look. But guys, another very interesting thing, the Blitzway Ghostbusters here. So I won't say any specific retailers. Those of you guys are in the Hot Toys Hotline chat, you will have received a link regarding a pre-order for these from a certain retailer. Last week, Blitzway had said that these were going to go up on a particular day. They have not put up the pre-order for these yet. And here's the crazy thing, guys. This 2.0, like, special edition exclusive 2-pack, it's limited to only 1,500. 4-pack, sorry, I said 2-pack. Thank you, Lane. This is limited to only 1,500 pieces for the 4-pack, the special edition. We don't know. I know there's multiple, there's like 3 other SKUs. There's a 3-pack, weirdly enough. Limited to 1,500 is wild.
But it's like $1,200, right? 1,300.
Through the retailer that I dropped the pre-order through, which they don't have them available anymore. They only had 30, so I don't want to, because there was some like questioning of whether some companies should have put up pre-orders or not. Which, you know, this company, I know they wouldn't have put up pre-orders unless Blitzway told them they could. But through that company, it was just under 1,200, which should be fair, Lane, for a 4-pack that is rumored to come with multiple head sculpts, and like they've got these Alice packs with the proton packs and everything, and like all these details and accessories. I don't think that's bad at all when you break it down for what they come with and what people were paying even for just the single figures before. Yeah, because some of those were going for like $600-700 just by themselves for individual figures in this set. And like, finally, Winston has a proper head sculpt. I think it looks great. I love the expression. Surprisingly, like the present toys ones, they don't look terrible. They just don't look nearly as good as the Blitzway. It's just like, you know, you compare the two and it's like, you know, you're getting a premium product from Blitzway versus like a good enough representation from present toys if you go that route. I did have those on pre-order. I just ate the NRD. There's no way I would get those over the officially licensed Blitzway versions. Those are some of the most sought-after figures, I think, of all time, as when we talk about grails, just based on the amount of money people were spending on them. Same with the original 84 Ecto 1, the amount of money people were spending for that. So this is really, really exciting. I'm going to tell you this, guys. This is going to go up with other retailers at some point this week. Of course, I will share it on all my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram story, what have you. Make sure you pre-order this if you want it. I'm going to be that guy and tell you to pre-order this time around because it is going to be limited. 1,500 for the Ghostbusters, that is not a lot. They do have other SKUs, but if I understand this correctly from the very limited information that we have thus far, 1,500 is the number for the 4-pack. So who doesn't want all 4 Ghostbusters? You know, it's like, for me, it would be like an all or nothing. I would want the whole crew because they are the Ghostbusters.
Do we know the price of it?
Yeah, so like I said, the pre-order, the NRD through the company, I ordered it, and some of you other guys ordered it from as we shared the link. It was like, with the discount code from the Facebook group, it was just under 1,200 shipped. Which I think is pretty fair, considering, like I said, they have a lot of accessories. You have those pretty giant. Yeah.
The OG 4-pack goes for more than that.
Yeah, so I think it's a very fair price. You get updated paint apps, accessories, what have you. I think it's worthy of that price tag. If, you know, we're going to get more information. The other crazy thing is, guys, the retailers, they have like no information on what everything it comes with. There's no like detailed listing of all the accessories or anything. We have none of that. So very, very interesting for sure. I wish I had more to share with you. All I know is you get all 4 figures and probably those alternate head sculpts. Yeah, exactly, X-Man. And you know, Blitzway, you know, to their credit, they've come a long way with the paint apps, especially. I never got the OGs because they were going for so much, but two, let's be real, the OG, the paint apps on them are pretty bad in comparison to what Blitzway and other companies are capable of now. The paint apps are very outdated. So if I were to get those, it would be with the intention to get them repainted, and you're talking hundreds of dollars per figure on top of that after you pay all that money. So it's like I waited and waited. Of course, I never expected the whole set to get a 2.0, but here we are. It paid off. No, it's a US-based retailer that I ordered them from, but I did check their website before the stream. The listing got pulled. What the retailer said, and if, of course, guys, if they're able to get more units, I will share it with you all. But no, I did not get it from
pulled
Sugo
from
Toys.
Kicks Generation Toys too.
That's the company I was talking about, Chris.
I thought you were answering that comment. Sugar.
No, it wasn't from Sugo. So it's okay. Like the company's not a secret. I just didn't want people to go running to them and like say, "Oh, do you have any left?" Because they don't. But yes, the company is Kicks Generation. That's where I pre-ordered it from. They do have a Facebook group and stuff. But they are sold out. And I did speak with the owner about this. He did say that he was given a hard date of the following day when his pre-orders went live. So what he got is what he got. And he had to tell them the following day, hey, these are my numbers. So I think he was allotted 30. And that's not a lot. Yeah, and one day, you have one day to cut off the pre-orders. That's wild. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if Blitzway, because of the production of other things they have going on, that they just don't want to do that many of these because it's like a 2.0 set. I don't know, but being this limited for Ghostbusters, I would not play around with it. I know
Ghostbusters special pack, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's sold out like on this Blitzway.
Yeah, so
Blitzway Global.
I don't know if it's going. I don't know if it's going up on Blitzway yet, though.
Yeah, Blitzway hasn't put it up yet. And yes, Peyton, there's 3 SKUs. I was told one of them is a 3-pack.
So this must be the old one then.
So yeah, weirdly enough, they did a short run of the 1.0 set, which I thought.
Yeah, it says 896 sold out.
Yeah, so very random.
But it was a special pack.
About. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. There was like some of the original 1.0 units available. William Gutierrez says, "Thank you, Connor. I pre-ordered mine. I hope we get the same package that Blitzway will have. Like, we will, William. So, to tell you this, William, to make you feel better about that, like Chris and I pre-ordered our DeLorean from Kicks Generation, and that came with the exact same stuff that it did directly from Blitzway. Yep. And I will say, Kicks Generation has a very good relationship with Blitzway because he sells like all of their stuff, like even like the Carbotics, like the little die-cast Disney figures and Sesame Street and stuff that I don't collect the Sesame Street, but I do collect the Disney ones. He carries those as well. So he's got a very good relationship with Blitzway, and he's been, even with the DeLorean, when a lot of us pre-ordered the DeLoreans from him, I'm sure you remember, Chris, like he extended an additional discount to us even after we pre-ordered, which I thought was very honest and very cool to see. So
yeah.
He said like the invoices would be adjusted come release date, reflecting that price even if you had already pre-ordered, which is awesome. You love to see that. He didn't have to do that. He could have just kept silent and taken that discount in the back end, but he seems like a very honest guy. So we were making the joke in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group. Everybody was like, is this legit? When I sent the link, and I was like, come on, guys, what do you think I am? You think I would just send you a dead link? But yeah, it's definitely legit. It's legit for sure. Yeah, I hate to say it, X-Man, but I don't have any space for the Ecto 1, unfortunately. So if they did do another Ecto 1, which I don't foresee it happening, the 84 at least, I would not be picking it up. But it is an amazing piece. It's such a giant vehicle. The rest of my vehicle space will be taken up by Batman Batmobiles from Jazz Inc. And then if Yost ends up doing the RoboCop stuff, like if he does the Ford Taurus Police Interceptor, I think that would probably be the last vehicle that I would have to get. Because you guys know I love RoboCop. So I'd probably... And if he does an Ed 209, I would have to get that too. So I'm on the fence about the Jazz Inc. Tumbler, just due to space. I did pre-order the BTAS Batmobile because you guys know I love Batman the Animated Series. But yeah, my vehicle space is very limited, so I will not be getting the Ecto 1. I love Ghostbusters, but I'm just not like on the level of fandom as some of you guys, like Kaiju Daddy, for example. Like he's a huge Ghostbusters guy, and I know he would make it happen regardless. But as much as I love Ghostbusters, I don't attach to it as much on that level, you know. I'm more of like I love the films, like especially the first two. I enjoyed them as a kid. and I want figures of them. Yeah, that's kind of where I leave it. We got Philly Figurecraft in the house, a hotline hottie, and just an overall gentleman. Philly, what's up, my dude? I hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for popping in. And Philly, you just reminded me, I saw that Reverse Zio Carlos is stepping his way out of the community, and I hate it. I was so sad to see that, but I wish the best for him, guys. I'm sure you guys are, a lot of you guys are familiar with Reverse Zio. He's over on the Copper Drop stream with Joey. Such a great, nice dude. He's been in the community for a long, long time. Does like amazing photography and everything. So, guys, if you could, before he's going to be deactivating his Instagram, if you're familiar with him, hop on over to his Instagram and say something nice. I don't know what he has going on, and I'm not going to poke or anything because, we only kind of recently became friends. But he's a really great guy, and if you guys are following him on Instagram or anything, or if you're not, hop on over to Reverse Zio and wish him well, because when I saw that, I just really hope that he's doing okay. But yeah, yes, SG Collectibles. I would absolutely love to see the Ford Taurus, just to recreate that like iconic scene where he's stepping out of the police interceptor. I would just love to see that in my collection. And NECA recently did like a little piece where you have him stepping out just to recreate that, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, I would definitely cave for some RoboCop stuff. I would make room for some RoboCop stuff. I would sell some stuff for that for sure and make that space, because I love RoboCop. That's like, when it comes to 80s films, that's one of my favorites, and it's so corny, and that's what I love about it. The first two RoboCops. Once you get to RoboCop 3, where Peter Weller was recast, you I'm still waiting for that Ann Lewis to pop up from Present Toys. They did the Murphy, which I already have from Hot Toys, but I want to see that Lewis. That's one that we're missing. I would love to see that, and I would love to see, somebody needs to do Clarence Boddicker. A company recently, it might have been like JS Toys or something. They're doing all of the villains like in 1/12 scale. It's like a whole set of them, and they're so beautiful. And it's like, I don't really collect much of those type of figures in that scale, but I'm so tempted because it's so rare to see all of those villains. They even have like the Toxic. I forgot that dude's name that gets all melted by the acid. Yes, he is. So yeah, guys, if you could pop on over to his Instagram and just say something nice to him. Yes, I did see that as well. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it wasn't NECA. Maybe it was Iron Studios that I'm thinking of. Because yeah, I saw that it was like just a piece of the car. Philly, you're a big Jazz Inc. guy. Just drop a little in Yost's ear and say like, hey Yost, I know you mentioned that RoboCop stuff before. Maybe start working on that. I would love to see it, dude. I really would.
He seems mostly focused on WB Batman stuff right now.
Oh, he definitely is, which for good reason. That's like his bread and butter,
he has the official license for it and everything now. So can't knock him. Hell, he's finally doing a Tumblr.
Yeah, and that Tumblr's tempting, and he's doing a free, at least as for right now, a free seated Bale Batman with it, which is really cool. X-Man says, I would love to have the BTS Batmobile, but I have to lose my 66 for it. Dude, that seems like a pretty good trade to me. I love the 66 stuff, but when it comes to Batmobiles, the BTS Batmobile inspired Keaton's Batmobile, so that's just way too cool, and I have to have it. And Yost did like the whole open engine bay and everything. So freaking cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people want the Knight Rider stuff, and weirdly enough, they just put the kit in Fortnite, which is so random. They randomly added kit to Fortnite, and I of course I had to buy it because I play that game. But yeah, kit would be really cool, especially like the lighting and the sounds and everything. Which I know recently Yost had asked about the sounds. I feel like that's one that has to have the sounds. Yes, Robert, if I do get it, that would be the last for me unless they do RoboCop. If they do RoboCop, there's no way I'm going to be able to say no. I'm just going to cave. Yes, it was a Ford Taurus. Everybody, the Taurus was, when I was in high school, every old lady was selling a Taurus. They had V8s, dude. Like, a lot of cop cars were Tauruses. So.
The Tauruses were like, for quite a few years, was one of the top, if not the top selling car.
It's a little sleeper with a V8 in it, dude. A little sleeper car. Yeah, Travis, I would just keep an eye on it, dude. If you're in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group, or if you follow me on Instagram, you guys know that follow me on Instagram. I don't post much on my main post section. I'm going to start trying to. But I do post a lot of stories with a lot of information and stuff like that. So any of those places you'll see it pop up as soon as we know. I will absolutely share it with you guys. Never will I ever try to gatekeep anything. I'll make sure that you guys have all the information you need, you know, whether it's Artisan or anything, I'll share it with you guys. Yeah, X-Man says, I know, BTS and 89 are my two favorite iterations of Batman and Batmobiles, but the 66, so tasty. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know. You kind of just answered your own question. I feel like you got to get the BTAS. Although I do hope that he improves the cell shading. I did pre-order the cell-shaded version. Not a huge fan of how it currently looks, but I know Yost is very good at taking feedback in stride, so I'm excited to see what that man cooks up because he is very good at responding to feedback, so we'll see. Yeah, I mean, Yost did say he was doing James Bond stuff, and I think if anything, with Hot Toys doing the figures, that's even more of a reason for Yost to hop on it to kind of pair with those figures. So yeah, any Aston Martins or anything from James Bond, I think a lot of people.
I literally just told
totally
you that yesterday too, because I saw one in person.
Yeah, I think people. I mean, not something I would get. I will absolutely get the figures from Hot Toys, especially if they do Pierce or Sean Connery. Those are my favorite Bonds.
I also told and I'm not even deep into Batman like that, but I would do Bruce Wayne's Lambo, and that's just because I would take a 1/6 scale Lambo.
Yeah. No, that would. I mean, that would be cool. Not something I would buy, but it would be cool. I want to, guys, our last topic, it's going to be interesting because J&D did reveal their John Wick figures, and, you know, the more
we have to go down there.
We do. The more we see stuff from J&D's 1/6 figures, I feel like they're just missing the point. They're just missing the point. You know, we talk about pricing a lot.
That looks like Keanu Reeves with like an extra 20 pounds.
It's a stunt double, constipated.
Or like extra Botox in the cheeks or something like that. That is, how do they go from how good that Hathaway, too expensive for the figure, but that Hathaway prototype looked like that, to how do you go from that to looking like this? Because I mean that looks like Hot Toys on that looks like Hot Toys on the worst day.
Lane, even further than that, how do you go from these beautiful 1/3 scale statues that they consistently put out to this?
That Bane. They're showing got that Bane.
Right, that Bane looks freaking incredible, and he's got the perfect pose. I know my buddy pre-ordered it. He was super excited about it, and it's like J&D is asking just crazy prices. I think someone made a joke and said that it's going to be like $3K. It's probably going to be like $2,000 for the 2-pack, and you get. Because I didn't see anything confirming that it was going to be like $3K, so I think somebody was maybe just
I'm sorry,
joking.
I would buy the Hot Toys one over this, like, within 5 seconds.
So,
at that.
What I don't understand, Lane, is the disconnect with these 1/6, and I get their silicone, and that's what drives up the price, and I know, like, Kojin, which is...
It's just not translating well.
Let's say this is giving pricing increases. Let's say this is like $19.99.
John Wick, that's why.
Yeah. If this was say $19.99, just with some price increase from versus the Catwoman, let's say this like $19.50 or something for like the mega deluxe version. Yeah. Why would you buy a multiple figure pack instead of buying like Bane for $400 more from the same company? Or a centerpiece.
I agree. Or why not just get the Hot Toys version that looks
you
really
could probably pick up the whole lot. You could probably pick up John Wick 2, John Wick 4, and Kane cheaper than that.
You could, yeah. The original John Wick figure has gone down a lot. And I will say this.
You're probably going to be able to get for percentage off.
You can probably get more than that for the price of this.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Yomo, I do agree to like the naked eye. I do think the chapter 1 version does look a little bit better, but I think it's literally just because the hair is slicked back and it kind of opens up.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think.
I don't. It looks like the same light, but like, dude, this is rough.
That really does not look like Keanu Reeves.
And you want to see
head leaning down like that?
Well, let me show you something that makes
it look even worse. Hitting the Michael Jackson over there.
Like this is what I had on the thumbnail. Like, dude, I don't know what it is with these silicone sculpts in 1/6 for them. They just, it's not translating like it does in their
He
1/3
looks
scale.
more
'Cause,
like he looks more like the main Russian bad guy from John Wick 1 than Keanu Reeves John Wick
a fucking
in that picture.
pencil. Lane, correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
bye-bye, here you go.
J&D, they did the 2-pack from Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah,
With Sean Connery and Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
like
for like
that Sean
$39.99.
Yeah, like that
the final
Sean
one just came
Connery
out not too
likeness.
long ago.
Yeah, that is literally like spot on. It's like one of the best head sculpts I've ever seen of Sean Connery. Like in general, it's one of the best head sculpts I've
and
ever
especially
seen.
older version of him too, especially
Right. Like it's
they
beautiful.
nailed
So it's
that.
like, how do you go from that to this? And it's like
J&D has been like that though for its statues. Like they
Dude,
are probably they are literally probably I think consistently, other than maybe Hot Toys,
yeah,
for human head sculpts or like that realistic
It,
look.
it
I
works in 1-to-1,
Yeah.
1/3, like Connor
Yeah,
was saying.
they nail that, but they do have moments of inconsistency where you go from one to the other. Like even one of the ones that I have, the Harley Quinn, which was one of their earliest, like kind of first big ones, the Suicide Squad Harley. If you compare how the original look versus the final, even I can say that for as goofy as I think the expenses, they're putting out like the dancer version of her, like that outfit for $4,000, because it's like their platinum, like most expensive. Because all of her body is like.
And like this.
Go back, Connor. Is it just me, or like did it look like you could squinch his like forehead together to create more wrinkles?
I just
the
want
one
to see
on the
one.
far right looks more angry than.
What I think this might be like revisions of the sculpt. I think that's because a lot of the shout out to his name. He goes by Buck in the Facebook group. A lot of this stuff comes from like Korean Facebook pages. So shout out to him. He's always giving us all
pose his face or something. Then
I don't know this. Like I said, from what I understand, I thought that this was like revisions. I could be wrong. Maybe you can do that, Chris. I don't know, but
that'd be pretty wild.
I thought
if it
that this
looked
was
like
like
him, it'd be a
this
lot,
is.
man.
Yeah, I thought that this was like what it currently is being offered. Like I think
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the strongest of the three, but if that's because you can move the silicone around on the face, which would probably feel weird. You just
I doubt it. That would be so difficult to implement. There would have to be some sort of like skeleton underneath that can squish as well. I
mean, they said they did it. What was the one
the
they said
fingers
would
are
have
posable.
a skeleton
John
underneath?
Wick?
That they did a skeleton under. Was that one of the Harry Potter figures or something? It was one of them. They actually had a skeleton underneath.
Well, yes, like the Joker, you can bend his neck forward.
That's what it was.
And the fingers are posable, which I think this one has as well, which it's like, who cares, dude? Like the silicone posable hands, that's only value to so many people, you know? Yeah, Joker had the skull, but I don't know if he had a scrunchable forehead. I mean, I could be wrong. It barely
looked like he was holding on to that pistol, though, too, at the same time. Like,
well, yeah, it's like that custom Ghostface that I have. He can't hold the knife for shit, and he has posable fingers. I'm just not a huge fan of it. Just give me sculpted hands. What's up, Fig Poser? He says, what up, though? I'm going to run it back from the top. I appreciate it, bro. Thanks for being here. Christian Crosshair Cooper in the house. What's up, my dude? Thank you so much for being here, Christian. I hope you're doing well, bro. Speaking of, you know, guys, let's see. Hold on. Let me do something here. Hold on. In honor of the extreme patience from you guys for us being late to the stream, which we're never late to the stream, guys. You guys know I love being on time. In honor of that, we're going to drop 5 memberships for y'all. And look at that.
Look at that.
Fig Poser.
Andrews, Pedro, and Fig. Andres.
Great group of guys. I appreciate y'all. Look, Fig Poser, my dude, right place, right time, man. We got 5 new Hotline hotties. Blue Tattoo, Fig Poser, Papa Trip, Andreas, my dude, Pedro Lopez. Let's go. I appreciate you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys being patient. And he said blue. Hey, that's all right. You know, oftentimes I'm lurking because I watch a lot of streams while I'm driving. Or, you know, a lot of us have personal YouTube accounts as well. Sometimes I'm on my personal account and I'm just not commenting. I'm just listening and I'm just being a creeper and watching my friend stream, you know. Sometimes I like to do that. Incognito, you know. Hot Toys Hotline, incognito. But yes, guys, congrats. I appreciate y'all for being here. yeah, you know, we kind of made. So I'm gonna tell you all this. I know before y'all jump on it, I'm gonna tell you all this. I recently got in that 1/6 scale rooted hair wig for the John Wick 4 figure that a lot of people were shitting on, understandably so, because a lot of the in-hand pictures didn't look very good. And I put it on the figure, and I spent about 25 minutes with a couple makeup brushes and styling it. It looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It looks pretty good for what it is.
Somebody did a swap out piece for the
Yes,
hair on
so
John Wick 4?
exactly. It plugs onto the head, and it's basically a wig, a rooted hair wig for the figure. And in a lot of the pictures, someone did the same thing for the Robert Pattinson Batman figure as well. But it literally swaps with the headpiece, so it's really not that crazy of a concept. Like, you just take the hair completely off, and then because on the John Wick figure, the hair comes completely off. So I saw some of the in-hand shots where people just kind of took it out of the box and threw it on, and you can't do that with it. It looks weird. But I sat there and I looked at reference photos and I was adjusting a little bit. If it wasn't so far off screen, I would show y'all. But, like, honestly, after I messed with it and, like, reactivated the hair gel a little bit, it looks pretty good for, like, $100. I really like it. So, I just wanted to share that with y'all. If anybody was considering getting that, you just have to know that you do have to mess around with it a little bit. Because when
You're
it
going to
comes
have
in
to
the
send
box,
me a picture of that, bro.
yeah, like, it doesn't look bad. Like, I know to you it sounds crazy because it's like a wig, but it literally replaces the whole hair piece. Like, all of it comes off, and then they made a piece that's the same shape as the back of the head, so it literally clicks on and magnetizes. Like, it's actually pretty cool how they did it. But yes, Christian, you're making me jealous, dude. Steve went and saw Ballerina. I think Big Dog Pound had seen it. X-Man, I think
Did it
maybe
do
has seen it.
anything for the likeness, though? Like, did it help?
I think so. The likeness wasn't even bad to begin with, because I think that's a really solid head sculpt. But yeah, and surprisingly enough, they did a pretty good job on the hair color as well, because his hair is actually much darker than it looks in these photos here. He has pretty dark hair, so yeah, I think it looks pretty good, dude. I like it. I was expecting it to be goofy, because some of the photos I saw, people were just absolutely crapping on it. But you just got to mess with the hair, dude. Got to mess with the hair. Guys, by the way, 69 people watching. What a great number. Wink, wink. I got to see Ballerina, guys. I have to. There's a lot. Chris and I were talking about this the other day. All the great movies that are coming out in theaters. You know, Predator, Badlands. And if you haven't already, guys, please, if you can do one thing for me, if you have a Hulu subscription, go watch Predator, Killer of Killers. You have to. It's such an enjoyable film. And if you want a little bit of background on lore, if you don't know much about Predator lore, you get a nice taste of it. And if you've seen Prey, like I said, you're going to love the little nods. And there's a little treat at the very end of it for us that have seen the Prey film. And I think you're going to like it. So watch it. And I really hope that some of this stuff ties in. And there's so many theories that are running through my head that I've read from other people and I've kind of dreamt up myself based on what you see. Again, I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but you have to watch it. You have to watch Killer of Killers. Sorry, I just had a comment. Absolutely, Pedro. Thank you for being here as always, bro. And you are now a hotline hottie. Hashtag hotline confirmed. Had to throw that one in there. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. I think at the very least we'll get the main character, Ana de Armas. I think we'll get her for sure. I think that's a given. But I'm like I said, I'm kind of in the process of upgrading my John Wick. I'm gonna hunt down the Topo suit because I missed the pre-order on kit for that, and I think I'm gonna swap out the suit on my Kane because honestly, that's probably one of the shittiest suits Hot Toys has done in a while on Kane. Those who have it, it has this really weird material and it just feels gross. And I thought I liked that suit more, but the more I look at that, like the black and white suit, the classic like tuxedo looking suit, I think I like that more. So probably going to end up grabbing that. And guys, I'm going to give credit to Topo for a couple of things. Number one, I'm sure you guys remember this guy right here.
I fixed it for you.
So they did a couple things. I'm sure you guys remember this guy right here. A lot of people had broken visors on their helmets. The initial response from Topo was, hey, we're not going to be swapping these out. Our packaging, we felt like it was good enough, blah, blah, blah. Then, I complained. I reached out to them. There was a big post about it. I commented on the post, shared my experiences. Topo said, give us a little bit. We're going to have to manufacture some new ones. Not only did they replace it finally, they stayed true to their word, but they've redesigned the bill on the helmet here, or the visor, if you will. It's no longer those little small pegs that can break easily. It's like a slot, and it kind of goes into that slot, and it's glued in. So I want to give a big shout out to Topo for keeping their word, not only keeping their word, but redesigning it for strictly for replacement units. Maybe they'll sell it now in the replacement form. But for those of you who are waiting on replacement units, that is my replacement unit. And they redesigned it and they fixed the issue. It might be slightly less accurate now, but form over function sometimes, guys. So thank you, Topo. Another thing, guys, I don't know if some of you guys saw the Hot Toy or the replacement robes from Topo for Anakin Skywalker, the robes, tabards, and eyeballs. I'm happy to say that that is something that, you know, I'd reached out to Topo and asked him if they'd be willing to make it. Because, you know, Chris and I, and Chris's brother too, like, you know, we've always, and many other of you guys, we've always had complaints about the way that the robes fit. You know, Anakin Skywalker's robe is meant to drape properly over, especially when you want to recreate like those kind of fall of Anakin Skywalker scenes where the hood
Always had to reuse Qui-Gon's.
Right. The robes were never quite right. They never had the correct length where they're touching the ground. There's just something was just always off about the robes, even up to these two artisan versions of Anakin / Vader. So that was obviously a big thing that we wanted to see a custom company do. So thanks to Chris's brother, who is, you know, very versed in the 1-to-1 scale costuming of Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan. Like, he makes this stuff. He does it as a service. So if any of you guys are looking for very accurate 1-to-1 scale Anakin or Obi-Wan robes, let me know and I can shoot you his Instagram. But he sent over a bunch of amazing references of like actual references used for these guys that make these 1-to-1 scale accurate props, and, you know, shots from the screen use costumes and everything. Just amazing references. And I sent them over to Topo, and they were very responsive to it. They were very excited about the project, and they took it and ran with it. And, you know, Chris and I have had our conversations about like minor things that they left out, like the seam on the shoulders. And I did reach out to them about that, because on the actual screen used tabards, they do have a seam because the way that I think it's lambskin, the panels were glued together. There is a seam on the shoulders. But they said that, like, you know, they were testing it in the factory, and because they had to stitch that to make it work properly and keep the materials from falling apart over time, it just didn't look right. They said it was ugly, so they left that out, you know. And yeah, like Chris is right, it's like an accuracy detail thing, but generally speaking, like, I've only seen a couple people mention that, so of course it's a nitpicky thing. But apart from that, aside from that, I think the tabards look beautiful. They are real leather. The material choice is awesome. The way that they lay on the body is great. I'm very curious to see how they interact with the body, because they don't have wiring in them. Topo said they didn't need wiring. The way that they selected the materials, they think that it's better off without wiring, so we'll see. Excuse me. But those kits are available for pre-order. They do come with the eyeballs as well. I think pricing-wise, it was like $84 shipped. For a leather tabard, a much more accurate robe, and a set of Sith eyeballs that I personally think look better than the OT Customs one. I mean, you can't beat that. That's a win for collectors, whether there were some minor details left out or not. I think, generally speaking, they are a massive upgrade, especially that robe. The robe is the shining star of that set for me, because so many years Hot Toys has messed up that robe. So it's available for pre-order through 1/6 kit. Even after the artisan versions. They did improve the tunic and stuff, but yeah, so long-winded, guys, but I just wanted to, you know, give a shout out to Topo. And again, always appreciate when a company, or even, you know, friends, you know, keeping your word is very important. So for Topo to go through and not only issue replacements for this, realize their mistakes, but also improve it, I think is really cool. And then again, them to do the Anakin stuff is dope. So if anybody has a link to that, I don't have a link available, but if one of the moderators would like to drop a link. Also, guys, 66 watching, if you haven't already. 68 now, but execute order 66 on that like button if you haven't already. I'd very much appreciate it. He said, we're robes, tabards, and eyeballs. We just needed a one-word suggestion. That's crazy. Let's see. Am I missing any comments here? Yes, I really, really hope to see that ballerina soon. I love to see the timed release. And by the way, what's up, Beskar Kid? My dude, Beskar Kid in the house. Beskar Kid, I don't know if you do much upgrading. Are you going to be picking up those upgraded robes for any of your Anakins? Yes, but hey, lurking's okay, dude. Like I said, I do it myself sometimes. Guys, if you haven't already, check out Beskar Kid on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, he's there, and you better be there. But yeah, guys, interesting figure. You guys see the title here. When does it end for J&D when it comes to 1/6? I don't know. I feel like they do 1/3 so well. If the reception is so poor for everything, maybe they should stick to it. I don't know. And thank you, Chris. That's great, guys. That's crazy that you let Chris beat you to it. But there's the link, guys, through 1/6 Kit. If it doesn't initially show up, make sure you log in. Chris was having an issue using, and I didn't know this either about 1/6 Kit. You can't, because of the tariff fees and stuff, you can't like fully use rewards on anything anymore and like get it 100% off. Because if you do it, like errors out and it just keeps recycling you back to the cart. So that's an interesting thing Chris figured out. You can't do that anymore.
I kept trying to do it over and over. Reloaded the page, turned Wi-Fi off, used my data. Like I did everything in the book. I was like, the billing address is correct, my card info is correct. I didn't know what to do. Shipping address, and then reach out to Kit, and sure enough, that was the problem, that you can't check out at $0. So what you can do though is use rewards until you have 1 cent. So I put 1 cent down.
That's crazy. Batfleck delayed. Of course, dude. Of course. I just want my Feral Predator, man. Like, my Spider-Man 3 Toby just shipped. Excited for that. I know Riley Lowe is going to be doing a custom run, so I'm probably going to end up sending that to him as part of that run to get modified and probably have the neck sewn and everything. Excited to check that out, and some minor body mods.
I just got email today that my Batflick got delayed, so I have to either confirm it or else it's gonna get.
That's what you better confirm that, Lane. Otherwise, Lane, if you decide you want to cancel it, I know somebody that wants one. It's Brick Artemis. He was reaching out to me, asking if I knew anybody that had one. So if you decide you're not going to get it, Lane, let me know, and we'll pass it on to Brick if you don't mind.
Oh, one thing too. I guess.
Woo. So Beskar, you're crazy like me. I got 4 Beskar as of right now, but I guess as they announce more, that's awesome, dude.
If you're part of a collecting community, whatever it is, there's a little bit of crazy that goes around to everybody. So
the price was just too good, Lane. Like Chris and I were talking about, like and no shade to OT Customs. They charge what they charge, and people enjoy their products, but yes. Yeah, $70 basically just for the eyes from OT Customs, or you get the whole set from Kit for like $84. I mean, that's a no-brainer for me. And I honestly, and Chris and I kind of agreed on this, I prefer how the Topo eyes look over the OT Customs look personally.
Yeah, they got a much more detail in them.
Yeah, so I really could not be happier. And guys, they turned that around so quick. Chris, it was probably like a month and a half, and they had those ready for pre-order. Like, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so pretty cool to see. I got some other stuff that I'm kind of dropping in their ear, and they kind of said, we'll see how the Jedi robe sets, which they've been selling really well. I've seen a bunch of people buying like a crap ton of them, so I'm sure with that support, guys, we'll get more stuff. I'm trying to get them to do some Obi-Wan robes and some other stuff. So
but Obi-Wan's robe is fine.
There's always room for improvement, though. We'll see what they can do. They did mention.
This is what I got. His on his. This is one of my favorites.
There's always room for improvement. Always room for improvement. So we'll see. I mean, they kind of seem very, very excited about Star Wars now. Like, it's actually really cool to see, like, this project has just kind of ignited their passion for Star Wars. They've mentioned some other stuff to me, and they asked me not to share. But if they go through with it, which again, it's all based on support, it's
do Attack of the Clones Anakin next. How about that?
Well, we don't talk about that.
That one was
that robe is just ugly as shit. That robe is so ugly.
Well, the tabards for that one too.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's certainly on the table. Like I said, it's all based on support, and I think a lot of these are. Yeah, Toys on Fire. His looked pretty decent as well. I did see that. Jedi, that would be hilarious, dude. Hey, there you go. Or some people can do Darth Jar Jar now. You got your robe and your tabard, just cover up the rest of his body.
Honestly, I have to say, if for Hot Toys were to do the Fortnite version of Darth Jar Jar, that might be a Sith Lord a version of Jar Jar. I might actually.
Yeah, I actually thought that outfit looked pretty cool. It kind of reminded me of that one outfit for Maul that was in Star Wars Battlefront from Rebels, like one of the alternate looks. That would be pretty cool. But guys, yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up our stream. Thank you everybody for being so patient once again. Chris and Lane, thank you for being here. Lane, thank you for making it happen. I know I was giving you crap as I always do, because Lane was like, not as I always do for everything, but when you say you're not coming on.
Once we get off here, wait till oh boy.
Yeah, I know Lane is having a rough time with his car, but Lane, I appreciate you making it. I know it was hard for you tonight, but I'm glad that I said boo to you enough that got you to come through. Guys, I appreciate you, like I said, as always, for being I feel bad for being late, because I'm not a person that likes to be late. It actually drives me nuts. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there, and I'm glad. Thank you to my camera for deciding to cooperate with me. Good thing I'm in the IT field and I do that for a living, so I was able to troubleshoot it within like 10 minutes. I got it working, so at least, you know, it's paying off for something. Take care, Sal. Everybody, thanks for being here. Gabriel, my dude Gabe, what's up, bro? Thanks for being here as always. X-Man Supreme. Sorry if I missed some of your comments, guys. At one point, guys, there was so much coming through. And then, of course, I was fangirling over the figure hideout. But I'm going to have to hit up the figure hideout, guys. It would be cool to have him on. It'd be fun to talk figures with him. So definitely going to be a fun time. I think that's everybody. Pedro, Valk, Noon Tunes, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, as always. Each and every one of you. We appreciate you. Fingers crossed for that ballerina figure. Fingers crossed that Hot Toys redoes. Hashtag fix the 87 Jungle Hunter Predator. Everybody on my behalf commented on every single Hot Toys post. Don't forget it. I think that's it. Thank you. Yes, and anybody watching on the replay, I appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I apologize for the slow start. You know, we just kind of went for it, you know, once we got the camera working. So I appreciate y'all. Guys, have a great rest of your week. If I don't talk to you, I'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST. Peace.